You can you, awesome. Let me just click that. Can you hear me okay? Are you good? I love it. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love it. And congratulations on all your awards. You've done amazing. I love it. Oh my God. That's amazing. The story's fantastic. Thank you. I love it. Uh, all right. No, no, go, please, you. Okay. You look great. You look great. Yeah, you look great. I'm so glad. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's hard. It's hard when there's so much, you know? Yes, it's exactly right. It's exactly right. Yes, yes. Right. Of course. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Yeah, I totally get it. Just so you know, and I want to make sure it's okay with you, I have an offer for your listeners at the end. Is that okay? At the end, like meaning we're going to be talking about everything with entrepreneurship, and if it's something, obviously my main focus with entrepreneurs is I have a program out for entrepreneurs that helps them sell and sell their products. So I have a link. Can I send you that link for when you I don't know when this would be released. When would you be releasing this? Oh, wow. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to send you the link in the chat so you have it. Mhm. Yeah, tell me a little bit about it. I did listen. I checked out two of your episodes and I love the one on ideas. The one recent one that you did that was super cool. So yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, okay, wow, there's no QA. It's very different. Yeah, wow. I thought that that was amazing, but I really feel like you should be part of it. I love it. I like it. I really do. I certainly feel that you contribute so much to the show. I know. I know. Yeah, you're said. I love it. You got it. You got it. Great. Awesome. Love it. Beautiful. Hmm. Yep, of course. Love it. The ultimate goal at the very end is the link, but it's really getting them to think that if they don't have the sales process, if they don't aren't comfortable being able to sell, if they're uncertain or have never been trained. I use this as an analogy. I have a calculator to add numbers, but I still know how to add. We all need to, it's kind of like what you offer. Everything is about continuing education, getting better. And if you have not been officially trained in sales, you need to be. As an entrepreneur, you have to have that. That's a basic skill set, just like when you go to school as a kid and you're taking math. So it's refining yourself. And I want them to be putting themselves in a place that, okay, I know so much and I'm doing really great, but what can I add based on the conversation that I'm having right now with you? What's going to make them better? What's going to take them over the top? So I first and foremost want your audience to feel that I'm in their shoes, that my heart is with them, that I've been through the ups and downs and the struggles, and I'm here to help more than anything else. That's ultimately it. Great. Yep. Right. Yep. 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 All right. So I'll give you that 1 minute right now. That 1 minute. Okay. 15% of CEOs have been officially trained in sales. It is a necessary skill that we all need to be able to take the steps and build our business. It is a confidence foundation for which our products, our services, and our company excel within the communities that we're selling to. So now is the time. Where is it that we can add to what it is that we're doing? Where can we take things to another level? Learn the skill sets that are going to empower us to make the money that we want to live the life of our dreams. Okay. All right. My name is Gail Kasper. I am an author. I'm a professional speaker. I've been doing it for about 15 years now, working with entrepreneurs all the way through to top 100 and multi-billion dollar organizations, helping them to achieve their goals in leadership and sales and customer service. Yeah, acronyms. Yeah. Um, Break it down. Yeah. I would say we put profit by fire at the end because it builds to that. That's the program yeah, that's the full program. So everything that we're going to talk about before then is going to lead right to profit by fire. I would say we start with sad tea because that's about getting logical in the face of emotion. And no matter what we do as an entrepreneur, we've got to be logical. And I can be talking a little bit about some of the elements involved with that, whether it's strategic planning or leadership and how we deal with people, managing conflict resolution, and also sales. So I love how methodical you are, Martin. I love it. It's great. Yeah. Right. All right. The systematic attitude development technique is always about being logical in the face of emotion. And when you think about it, our tendency, especially if we get knocked down or we're experiencing challenges or we're faced with conflict, we go into emotion versus logic. Now, what the systematic attitude development technique teaches us to do, it says, okay, where are we planning? What is the plan in place? You're faced with a crisis, you're faced with a challenge. Are you going to go the emotional route and duck out? Like a lot of us sometimes don't feel like getting out of bed in the morning. I totally get it. But you've got to have that plan in place that keeps you moving. There's a story about a woman named Melissa Shaw. She came home late one night and she was greeted by a guy with a gun. And he took her and threw her into the trunk of her own car and drove that car. The car eventually stopped. She's still in the trunk, and it was when they didn't have little latches, so she couldn't get out. And what ended up happening was he pushed the car down a hill, and all of a sudden she saw water coming up through the trunk of that car. So she knew she's screaming for help, screaming. She's in that emotional space. Somebody help me. Somebody save me. And then she said to herself, I'm not going to die today. She started to rip at the lining and pull at the cables and the cords until she found the latch that opened the trunk and saved her life. She saved herself by getting logical. And if she can save her life, we can change our lives in any way we want. But it starts by having that plan. So, regardless of the challenge, what is your plan? And I give 4 specific steps for that. Number one, make a list of the things that you have to do in a day to have a successful day. So, what are the things that you have to do to have a successful day? Now, that could be anything from, hey, I like to get up in the morning and have my cup of coffee and my muffin, that's my thing, to working out, to making those calls, to going to a networking event and spreading the word about your business, to working with your employees on skill sets so that they can be better at what they do. What does that plan look like? And then once you have that list, make the list, and what are the top 3 things on that list that if you did them would produce the greatest positive results in your life and with the company? So step 2 is to make the list and prioritize it. But step 3 is, what are the top 3 things on that list that if you did them would produce the greatest positive results? And step 4 is to ask for help. And I want you to think long and hard about that, because what we know is in our own minds. Those are the things that we do. We do what we know. So if we're stuck, if we're challenged by emotion, we turn to ourselves and we're talking to ourselves, but we were having a tough time getting out of stuck to begin with. So I want you to think about, who's the person that is a colleague? Who can you talk to? What podcasts, just like we're doing right now, what can you listen to that's going to inspire a new idea or new thought so that you can regenerate that plan and take action? Being stuck is the worst place that we can be as entrepreneurs, because we don't know which direction to go. So make sure that you're asking for help by a mentor, by listening to podcasts, by getting resources for yourself so that you can be better at what you do. So it's the systematic attitude development technique. Get logical over emotion. Make sure that you're getting the training in place with all of that. You've got the plan in place, the list, organizing that list, doing the top 3 things on that list, and asking for help when you need to. Mhm. Yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah, give some, yeah, have some stories in there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give 2. I'm going to give a personal and a professional. So it comes in. Yep. Yep. Totally get it. Yeah. Well, and just to relate to all of you as entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs, those of you that are building right now, but when you do it and you start your business, sometimes you're alone in the process. And you've got to figure out how to pull all the pieces together to make it. And you've got to figure out how to pull that team together to make things happen. And I remember when I was starting as a speaker, and I at actually the day before I was due to deliver a speech to 500 people is when my husband told me that he was leaving. So in that situation, I mean, I'm the speaker, it's me. I had to get back to logic. I had to get back to, okay, Gail, let's make sure that we're prepared. Let's rehearse. Let's study. In other words, I have a fulfillment to myself, to my company, and my clients, and mostly to myself to come through. Like, meaning if I stay in bed, yeah, I lose money. Client loses out, which I don't want those things, but I also let myself down. So in life, when it comes to that systematic attitude development technique, we want to work to find that logic, not just for the sake of everyone else and the clients and the business and the work, which we're never going to let down because it's in our hearts, but don't let yourself down. You deserve more. You deserve the best. And logic is what gets you through that. Now, in the sales world, I mean, we deal with cold calling, reaching out to brand new people. You've got your sales reps that are out there cold calling, or you're doing it yourself, or you're going into a major presentation and maybe you're like, oh my God, I'm really not sure about how this presentation is structured, or is it strong enough? Do I need a better value proposition? Am I asking the right questions? But you've got these uncertainties in your mind, this emotional element. So how do you get back to that logic? That comes from, okay, what does the plan look like? And again, do you need to have that mentor or trainer or coach that could help you refine that sales presentation to make it all it can be so that you close more deals at a higher revenue per sale? For your sales reps, if they're out there cold calling, that's emotional. They get the door slammed in their face repeatedly over and over and over again. It is not easy to get hit in the face repeatedly. And as entrepreneurs, we know that when we're selling our own business, it happens. So the ability to just say, okay, I got to get logical. I had the door closed X amount of times, door slammed in my face, but or the phone hung up on me, but I'm going to pick up that phone one more time. I'm going to make another call. I've got a list of 10 calls I'm going to make. I'm going to go for that big fish. We just make the plan and we follow it. We don't sit in the sulk. We do something about it. And again, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your company to make those happen. Well, you know what? I got say that again. Okay. Thank you for saying that. But you got to know to have to do a speech in front of all those people the next day. Uh, and no one knew. You cannot show it. You can't be like it's a bad day, you know. Uh, yeah, yeah. Well, and yes, I can add something into there that's a really great story that happened to me that I think you're going to like. Um, when I was pursuing working with the National Hockey League, I had the door slammed in my face so many times. Unbelievable. And I had found out that the Philadelphia Flyers, a lot of those players had wanted to meet Michael Jordan. And I decided to make some calls and try to figure out who might have contact with Michael Jordan. Who is it that might know him, that might see him? How's this possible? How can I make this happen that the Philadelphia Flyers actually meet Michael Jordan? So I finally found someone that was connected to Michael Jordan, and I'm talking to him on the phone and I'm explaining to him what I'm trying to accomplish and that Michael Jordan is due to come into Philadelphia. And is there any way he could say hello to the Philadelphia Flyers? All sounded great. The guy, of course, was like, Gail, this is Michael Jordan. I don't know what you're thinking in your head, but the idea of meeting Michael Jordan is, celebrities can't meet Michael Jordan. But he said, I'll ask. And I said to him, well, when's a good time to follow up and call you? Because in sales, we've got to set that follow up. So he said Friday, 10 a.m. I set that follow up time to call. About 5 to 10 in the morning, before I'm going to make that call, I am looking at my phone thinking to myself, I am such an idiot. I like, what am I thinking? I'm going to call this guy. He's not going to pick up the phone. Come on, like it's meeting Michael Jordan. How does that? There's no way this guy's going to pick up the phone. It's going to voicemail. Now, the two things that changed that was number one, logic over emotion, systematic attitude development technique. You just do. You do. You do. You move forward, you do. And the other part of that was the authenticity and the integrity that I have in myself. Meaning, I can't control what he does. I can't control that the guy picks up the phone or goes to voicemail. I have no control of that, but I do have control of myself. So I made that call. And well, lo and behold, he did pick up the phone, and Michael Jordan did agree to meet the Philadelphia Flyers. And that was my biggest accomplishment in life. Not the Michael Jordan, no offense to Michael Jordan, he's the biggest name in sports to me always. My biggest accomplishment was that I realized that when I feel like a fool, when I feel like I am really pushing myself over the edge and I look super stupid, I am that much closer to success. That means for me, success is right around the corner. So I would always ask everyone, and I teach this in my seminars, you need to be able to check the fear box at the end of every week. You have to be able to say to yourself, you know what? I challenged myself in some way that was uncomfortable, that I didn't feel good about. You need to be able to check that fear box at the end of every week. So before you leave the office, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't care what time it is, that check box is there. You need to be able to check it. Yeah, I was going to say that. Let's take a look at value prop and power statement. Let's take a look at that. Okay. All right. So here you are. You've got this extraordinary business that you've built. And I have often found that I have trained thousands of sales representatives, and they can talk about their company and their business and their product. But when it comes to really sharing it with others, there's a hole missing. So what is a power statement? A power statement is a value prop regarding your business, your company, and your products. It says, what is it that I do well, where I excel? What is it? What's the reason somebody's going to want to buy from me? And it tells people a couple of different things. It not only tells them that number one, you've got great products and services, but it also says the confidence that you have in yourself, that you know what you're doing so well that nothing's going to take you off track. And repeatedly, I will tell you with the thousands of sales reps that I've trained that their value prop could be stronger. So, how do we create that? How do we manage that? Because it's got to start with the root of what you bring. And if you are a new business, please don't be afraid of that, because that is something that I work with clients all the time on. I could take somebody that has had no experience in what it is they're doing and really dig to figure out what that value proposition is to make it sound enticing to anyone. But we've got to work on it. There should be one that's within a minute. You should have one within 3 minutes, and you should have one within 5 minutes, depending on who you're talking to and what the subject matter is, and also what you're selling. But if you cannot articulate that meticulously, as though you were standing in the middle of a marching band and nothing was interrupting you, could you say it that clearly? So you've got to have your power statement in place. Yes, I can. Like, yeah, yeah. All right. So first thing that I would ask you to think about with regard to your power statement is, how long have you been doing what you're doing? In other words, what makes you the expert in terms of your product or your service? So that's number one. Number two, what education have you had? Training, it could be classes, it could be seminars. What backs that? If it's regarding a specific product, what materials are being used to really elevate that product that you're offering? If it's a service, what separates you from competitors in terms of what you bring to the table? In terms of customer delivery, if it's shipping, how quickly are you getting it to the customers, and how satisfied are they? And if they're not satisfied, what's your return policy? And if it's you and your service, what are you doing to ensure satisfaction with your customers? So all of those things can be compiled into a power statement that says, look, this is what makes me different, and this is why you need me. This is why what you need me, you need to purchase what it is I have to offer. Yep. And I can pull all the sales pieces together and lead right into that. So I can absolutely, yeah, that's like to me, I'm coming to a conclusion. Yeah, yeah. And I'll start off with the information, like meaning the educational piece of it. And I'll say, this is what I could do to help you. All right. So when we look at sales, the first thing I always say is what we've been doing, systematic attitude to development technique, get logical in the face of emotion. So that's our first step in the process. And when we look at this as entrepreneurs, we're not only thinking of ourselves, we're thinking of our teams. But here we are moving through the sales process. You have clients, you have people that are interested in your business. And one of the things that I have been talking about extensively is that every single entrepreneur needs to have that hardcore training in sales. It is the foundation for which we build our businesses upon. So, what that starts with is our rapport process. Now, that can be online in terms of how you connect with customers, and that can be face to face with how you connect with customers. There are multi levels for that. There's a body language piece of it, a tone of voice piece of it, a words piece of it. The words are the sales presentation, which means what am I saying to build rapport? Uncovering needs. What are the questions that I'm asking? How am I asking bridge questions, which creates the connection? They may be questions like, hey, you know what, tell me a little bit about yourself or what's important to you. And then you move into needs. Tell me a little bit about what it is you reached out to me for. How can I best help you? Long term, what are your goals? So we're figuring out how my needs for the product can benefit them. And then we shift into that value proposition, which is where we're selling. Now, that whole piece of the sales process is about 90% of the sales process. The last 10% is strictly objections and closing. So, as an entrepreneur, you may be selling online, you may be selling one to one. If you're selling one to one, I would encourage you to think about how you can sell to bigger groups, how you can get involved with conferences where you can sell to bigger groups so that you have the opportunity to present your product full spectrum. One of the things that I do is something called Profit by Fire. It's a program designed for entrepreneurs so that they are in the position to develop their full sales presentation. They walk away with a customized presentation based on their product and their company and the confidence to follow it through. So, what that is all about, it's all about coaching sessions, two different coaching sessions that occur within a group. It's about online programs that I make accessible to everyone. And really, I'm kicking it off right now at a ridiculously low price for these entrepreneurs of $14.97 for everything that would be included between the coaching sessions, the online classes, which are over 50 modules, everything from sales to being on video to public speaking, those elements of communication that are going to really refine you and take your skill sets over the top. So, with my mentorship, we do this together. That's what this program is all about. Every single entrepreneur has to be trained in sales. It is the foundation for which you're building your company and also the legacy for which you're leaving your people. Okay. So for more information, please go to go.profitbyfire.com/interest. I could not have done this without you. You're amazing. Oh my God, you're amazing. You're amazing. You just pulled that. I have so much respect for that. You have to put that system into a book so that people know how to bring their message full circle. Yes, you have to do that because you were brilliant at it. I enjoyed this so much. Yeah, I would love that. That's it. I would love that. I had such a good time and you made it so easy. You know what though, yeah, and I love to point that out in people. Like that's a gift that I know that I have a lot of things I screw up in life and in business. I'm not perfect, but I do know that I have the ability to see clearly what somebody brings, and that is a talent. What you did and how you broke that down, and you said, okay, what's the end goal? And we're going to move through this direction. And then you even cued me. It was funny because I was thinking about the power statement next. You even said, power statement, value. You went straight into it. So I was already thinking that direction. You were there. So you really are. You're very good at that. It was. I love it. I love it. All right. Me too. And are there any video clips that I could, because I'm happy to put them out on my social media. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, that'd be great. That would be fantastic. Yeah, that'd be great. I would love that. Yeah, and and I'll make sure you get your tags and everything. And thank you again. I had a great time. All right. I will talk to you soon then. I'll look forward to it. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. All right. Okay. Yes, I will. You too. You too. It was great to see you. Bye.